Hello folks, and welcome to a new series that I'm trying out, tentatively called either Until I'm Out of Room or Inventory's Full or something like that. The idea is that I play with my witch doctor, my main character, until my inventory is full. We go back to town, check out the loot, and that's where the video will end. I've also had the idea that maybe every video or every other video, something like that, I change my build, like drastically change the build just to try out different builds and see what I can come up with. We'll see. I want to see what kind of feedback I get. If we do that, and I'm definitely going to do that the first time, I'm going to go over my current build just so you guys know what I'm using and I can give the logic behind it. Now, this build, first of all, I am absolutely sure is not optimal. However, it's a build that I enjoy playing a lot. And I've jumped a lot of builds with this character and just could not find one that I found to be both fun and actually useful. This is the first build on higher difficulties. I've been playing on Torment 1, by the way, that I've found to be effective, but also just fun for me personally to play. So I have Locust Swarm as one of my primary attacks. Excuse me, I have it runed with the Searing Locusts, so that it ups the damage from 1040 weapon damage to 1480% of weapon damage. Haunt, I have that, the Draining Spirit. The spirit returns 12 mana per second. Zombie Charger, I have Pylon. I know a lot of people like zombie bears, and I do too, but the damage on Pylon is twice as much. And if you organize the enemies right, I feel like Tower is just better overall. Now, Tower is physical, Zombie Bear is poison. Maybe that's another reason people like them. I know the zombie bears spread out a little better. And Zombie Charger does suck a lot if enemies get right on top of you because the tower will go over them. Wall of Zombies, I don't know what it is, but I have always liked the idea of making walls and whatnot in these games. I really liked the bone wall in Diablo 2. It wasn't that great, but it was just fun for me to use. So I finally found a reason to use Wall of Zombies. I've got it runed with Wrecking Crew. The line of zombies taunt enemies to attack them. That's good for keeping enemies off you because on higher difficulty, it seems like enemies just start completely ignoring pets for the most part. Piranhas, I fucking love this spell. This is the spell we got at level 61. And if you're not familiar with it, it summons a pool of deadly piranhas that deal 400% weapon damage as poison, and afflicted damage will also take 15% increased damage. I've chosen frozen piranhas. Changes the damage up to 400, so it does less damage. Oh wait, no, it is the same. But it does cold damage, and it chills them the entire time. The chill effect is huge. Like, they go so slow, and they attack a lot slower. Honestly, I feel like frozen piranhas is overpowered. I feel like the slow effect is insanely high. And but that's just me. But I'm going to abuse it while I can. Spirit Walk, seems like pretty much a must-have ability, at least for Witch Doctors at the higher difficulties, because you are going to take a lot of damage, and you don't have a really good way to mitigate that without pets. And I haven't found a pet build that I like. And I've used Healing Journey, gain 14% of your maximum life while you activate Spirit Walk. I use that kind of as a cheap heal, and obviously to get away from enemies. As far as my passives, I've chose Jungle Fortitude, reduces all damage taken by you and your pets by 15%. Again, even with high resistances, you take ass loads of damage at level 70 in Torment 1, so I almost have to have this. Rush of Essence, I'm changing this out. This is something new. Spirit spells return 100 mana over 10 seconds. I'm already using Haunt, so I figure I might as well get that 100 mana back over 10 seconds whenever I cast it, which will be all the time. A Blood Ritual, 10% of mana costs are paid with life. 10% of my life is not really a big deal. Especially since I regenerate 1% of my health every second, so it's not really a big deal. Creeping Death. This is a new passive that I absolutely love. Your Haunt, Locust Swarm, and the damage amplification for piranhas lasts almost forever. This is awesome. I fucking love this passive, especially against bosses. Once you dot them up, if you can stay away from them long enough, they will die eventually. And I've actually cheesed it up a little bit to do just that. Now, the main problem I've had with this Witch Doctor pretty much the whole time is mana issues, but we'll see how that goes. I'm probably not going to be doing the main, like, areas, like the quests. I still haven't actually beat the expansion yet. I've gotten near the end, but I haven't beat it yet. But I probably might pick random areas. I want to stay at least on Torment 1. Depending on how effective the build is, I might drop it if it's starting to get boring. So first I'm going to use Swarm. And of course, immediately there's a name. I kind of wanted to take this opportunity to kind of talk about my build. But of course that's not going to happen. Now I'm going to die immediately. Now watch how bad this slow is, or how, well, good this slow is. Especially when you do stuff like that. I really hate Arcane. So we're going to do that. We're going to do the wall pylon. I love the animation and the woo. Oops. Oh, whoops. Another problem is I recently tried another build. And I've forgotten what spells I have where. Notice how the NPCs tend to completely ignore. Ugh, Arcane is one of the lamest powers, I think. It always feels like it's way too easy to get into a cheesy situation. Not so much here, since there's a lot of room to run around. But there's a lot of cheesy situations you can find yourself in where... Ah, damn it. I've really got to switch my buttons around, because like I said, I just changed builds. And I've forgotten what I had set. So I keep misclicking just from muscle memory. But actually, when I set it up, I forgot what I had done. Alright, let's get this guy dead. He's kind of too busy talking and getting distracted. I used the Templar as my guy. I've been trying to find a good use for him. For the most part, he seems kind of bleh. Ugh, Arcane. Probably one of my least favorite. Damn it, I've really got to switch my spells around. Sorry about that. I should have really messed around with this a bit more to kind of refamiliarize myself with my old loadout. If it was a new loadout, it would be different because I'd be used to the new, or I would be knowing that, okay, I need to, you know, use whatever it is that I've switched to. But because it's an old build, I'm like, oh, I hit this button to Spirit Walk and this button to do this. Will you fuck off? I hate little pissant mobs, like these bats that are really fast and just annoying as shit. But, now, one thing I don't quite understand... Shit, I did it again. I'm used to Haunt being on 4. And I effed it up. And this build is better than I'm kind of displaying right now. It's just I'm not doing a very good job of showing it off. It's just, like I say, it's definitely not ideal. But it's a lot of fun to play. Especially... Damn it. Stop hitting the right button. Or right button, yes. No, don't hit that. Or don't not hit that. Woo! Is that guy summoning undead too? Making them fast, which is super annoying. Oh, he's almost dead. So I'm just going to kill his little buddies over here.
I must wait longer.
Yeah, one problem I have is, like, on higher difficulties, it just becomes near impossible to see what the fuck is going on. Because there's so much shit happening. That it just becomes really annoying to actually try to understand. All right, what the... Like, there's shit, like, popping up underneath you and you can't see it because you've got all these graphical effects happening. And it just becomes nuts. Which, I mean, I don't know how to really fix that because there's, well, a lot of shit going on. Would you just die? Jesus H. Christ in a chicken basket. Damn it. I might switch my buttons around. Now that I'm kind of remembering what they were, I might, I think I'm going to try to switch them out. Sorry about that. So this actually should be... Right-click should be Spirit Walk. And then I think 4 was what am I doing? Haunt. The reason I'm doing the mana with Haunt is because, as you can see, I've got severe mana issues once I start casting Corpse Zombie Charger. Let's do it and do this event. Just to make it easy to kill shit.
Keep watch. If I get eaten, I blame you.
But yeah, I really like this build. It's a lot of fun. All right, like to get the Locusts up first. Get a lot of haunts going. It's really not even necessary to have the haunts. One, it slows them down, which is nice, which that's not a big deal since I've already got the ice pond here slowing them. See, like the minute I come over, the guy's like, hey, attack that guy. But it also, you know, gets mana back. So, and it's just kind of fun to throw it out there. Alright, as soon as these guys come out, we need to get in the habit of... I also like getting the wall up. Sometimes that will pull them over, make it easier to put the ice lake on them. And then just start devastating them with the wall. But again, as you can see, my mana goes away very quickly. I don't think I haunted anything that time, though. That's part of the problem there. And the nice thing about Haunt, too, if you're not familiar with Haunt, Haunt is a... Now, normally, remember, the Locust Swarm and the Haunt would not last forever, and I would need to recast it, especially at higher difficulty, since everything's got a bajillion hit points.
I'm dead.
But, because I'm using that passive, I can just cast once. So, like, I never have to cast those dots on this guy again. Teleporter. This guy likes to teleport. I did a lot of testing on this stage, so I'm kind of familiar with some of the bosses that tend to pop up. Now, the taunt does not work on most boss-type enemies, but they still have to walk around it. So, and a lot of time the ice doesn't either on major bosses, but you can see he's actually slowed, and he's blocked by the wall now, so he's doubly annoyed. And that's what I really like to do, is I like to annoy the enemies. I wait till he teleports and then wall him off, so he's blocked behind it, so I get some free cast time. I hate how stupid the NPCs can be. I've had cases where the enemies are trying so hard to get to me. Like, let's say this was just a small doorway, and this guy was blocking the path, right? And the enemies were trying to get to me, so you think, okay, well, they can't get to me, so they'll attack the NPC. No, they will just stand there staring at him
I can feel it.
until the wall drops, or until he gets out of the way. And if he doesn't get out of the way, they'll just die because he's standing there, like, and they're idiots. Oh, look at legend, legendary, nice. You know, I will check all the items once we get back to town. That's usually how I play too. I really dislike stopping constantly to check loot. Now, legendary is a special deal. Gideon's Row. I think that's in the section. Ah, hell. I was like, what's that? Oh. So yeah, that's how I normally play anyway. But go ahead and drop a zombie wall again. I think the blue. Oh, this is a purple. So he might ignore it. At least the taunt factor he would ignore. He's not really coming for me either, so it's not really a big deal. And the nice thing too is, especially against these legendaries, because they throw out so much shit that you just have to try to dodge, having dots gives you more time to actually be able to cast. Well, that way you're actually doing damage instead of running around trying to find like your 2 seconds worth of cast time. And it's like, oh, well, I cast one spell, now I have to run around again for 30 seconds. So with the dots, they're doing constant damage. And I know it's kind of hard to see what's going on, but you can see they're doing pretty decent damage. Let's look, about 400-ish, or 200 to 400 damage a tick. That's not too shabby for a dot that I don't have to maintain. Not at all. And again, keep in mind the damage boost from the piranhas stays on. So even if I don't recast it, you can actually see the piranhas still eating away at the enemy to indicate that they're taking damage. Wow, I missed a bunch of stuff. One thing I hate about Witch Doctor, at least the builds that I always do, I don't have a cheap way to break this stuff. Usually what I end up doing is just making like a zombie wall, since zombie wall is pretty cheap and the recast is low. But I think if I were to do an optimal version of this build, I'd probably take zombie wall out. But honestly, I just really like controlling mobs with zombie wall, and I like just watching them come out and get in the enemy's way and be annoying. But it is, I mean, it has, just to be clear, I do think it's still useful, but probably not like optimal. And it's really great against these annoying ass enemies that are fast. Like, especially again, since the #1 problem I have with the pile-on zombies is that if enemies get around top of you, like this guy, a lot of times, as you can see, they're going over him. So you need to keep them back. And of course, your companions are terrible at keeping aggro. Now, I don't have him set up. I don't have the Templar set up with the taunt abilities. But the reason that is because, well, he's just terrible at it. Anyway, even with the builds, wow. Mana is awful for this character. And sometimes I like to just annoy the shit out of the enemies, and I'll haunt them, and I'll just run away and let them follow me. And keep in mind, again, they're slowed because they have haunt on them, and they'll just die. But yeah, definitely not the fastest build in the world. But again, I find it pretty fun to do. See, he's got haunt on him, so I'm just going to ignore him and just walk up here. By the time he gets up here, he'll be pretty close to dead. Let's go ahead and taunt, throw some haunts out. Because once you get enough haunts out, now watch my casting. Or watch my mana is what I meant to say. Notice how I'm not losing mana because there's so many enemies with haunt on them that I am not going to... I don't run out of mana. Now, you don't have to haunt all the enemies either. I need to find, like, okay, this is the optimal number of haunts to cast so that I can just chain cast my other spell, my zombie charger. I can't remember zombie charger that well because, well, one, my memory's awful. And two, because the pylon just kind of takes away the whole charger aspect. So my brain, it doesn't make sense to call it charger since they're just falling over. But yeah, I really like this build. Like I said, the dots aren't necessarily doing a shitload of damage just because, you know, they can't crit and things like that. But it's nice constant damage, and especially the locusts spread on their own. You can see them like going through and spreading across the enemies. So I got them all, or well, not haunt. I got a lot of them haunted. Oops. And I will just again watch my mana. What's funny is that becomes less and less effective the more enemies that die. I'm also level 20, Paragon 25. Well, I was. Now I'm Paragon 26. Alright. Now, just to show you my Paragon levels, let's see. Under Core, I'm going with max mana because, again, I have mana issues. Next will probably be Vitality because, again, living is becoming very difficult with this class at this level. Cooldown reduction. I was going with that because I had another build that relied on cooldowns. I forget what I was doing. But now I'm changing it to crit hit chance. Now, to be fair, again, this is not necessarily optimal because the only spell I'm casting that can crit is, excuse me, Zombie Charger. But it's also a decent amount of my damage. Attack speed is okay because once I get haunt on everything, I can chain cast it faster. But the problem is, I don't have problems with small packs of mobs. I have problems with small packs that do a lot of damage. So I'd rather have my hits crit more often. Again, I don't think there's an optimal choice for me here with this current build, but I'm going to stick with critical hit chance because I think that's an overall decent ability, again, except for dots. Under defense, I've been going with resist, trying to get my resist up because even with 70% resists and with 15% damage reduction, spells do a shitload of damage to me. But again, keep in mind, we are on Torment 1's level 70, so keep that in mind. As far as my utility, I've been doing resource cost reduction, again, because my mana costs are through the roof, and I'm always running out of mana. So, obviously, the choice is to go with mana cost reduction. Let's go ahead and get that spreading. Now, the Swarm, one weird thing about the Swarm is it spreads, but it seems like once it has spread enough, like after it's been on for a while, it stops spreading. I counted way too many haunts there, but that's okay. But once, like, say let's say that after the first 5 seconds, it doesn't seem like Swarm spreads anymore. I could be wrong, but just from my observation, that seems to be the case. Oh, well, there's actually more guys there than I thought. To get the wall up. Now, the wall and the ice are godlike indoors with areas that have like a bunch of corridors, small corridors for enemies to try to get through. Oh, man. It is brutal, especially with the Templar, because he just blocks the door off, like I said before, and the enemies will just be like, huh? And completely ignore him and attack you. Oh, God, it's beautiful. Memorial. Yes, let's just desecrate this memorial. That's fine. Is this a Penny Bartholow?
I can hear my husband moaning inside his sarcophagus.
Please end his suffering. Okay. That's a new event.
Do not struggle so, my love.
Whoa.
I was come to set you free.
The scorpion guy. So let's get our dots on and actually hit him with the dots this time. We'll go ahead and wall him off there. Again, that was more to keep him where he's already at. Okay, he's ice as well, which one I really hate. Hello, you just hang out there, why don't you? One thing I love about Spirit Walk is that it gets you out of those damn prisons. Oh, wow. That was cheap as shit. But, yeah, that's... Stuff like that, you just can't really work around. You just kind of got to do what you can. And hope your resistance are high enough. That's why you pretty much absolutely have to have resists at higher levels. I think I'm gonna save my whatchamacallit until, oh wow, that hit me. I did not think it would. But I'm gonna save my, what do you call it? The Spirit Walk. Damn, there we go. Jeez. That was super hard apparently. Spirit Walk for dangerous times like that where he pulled me into the ice balls. And that's why you have to, which I used it out of habit there when he prisoned me. He's just about dead. And see, again, over time, the dots do it. I would love to know how much of that damage was done by dots.
My thanks, hero. Now we may spend eternity together.
Huh. I'm sure he loves that.
To be freed from my torment and have my soul reunited with yours. I can't imagine a more blissful afterlife.
Wait, what is that?
Your eternity
Whoa.
ends now.
Hey, we're talking. You can't, like, attack during the dialogue. Again, I am going to use the haunt here so I can, on the ads, so that I can just chain cast this. I'm not even going to necessarily try to kill them. I'm just going to kind of keep them out of the way and use them as mana batteries. Look at that zombie wall blocking her off while she completely and utterly ignores my other dude. Alright, she summoned some more guys. Let me haunt them up. And you can see she's already pretty low. So yeah, you know, I do like this build a lot. I think it's effective enough. Again, do I think it's optimal? Probably not. Do I care? No, because I enjoyed the build. And I think that's, you know, that's just as important as being optimal or being, it's got to be usable, right? If you're playing on like an easier difficulty, then maybe not. It, you know, doesn't matter that much. Oh, hey, you're still alive. It doesn't matter as much if you're playing on like a normal or just master difficulty, but once you start hitting torment difficulties, it matters a lot. Now, if you're not familiar, you have, I think, what, 5 or 6 difficulty levels, and then you have 6 levels of torment, and obviously each difficulty is, well, more difficult than the last, but you also get better rewards, more XP, more money, more gold, or more loot. So you're rewarded for doing so, which, you know, that's the way it should be. I don't even remember what the section is. I just kind of ran over here. Oh, wait, is this like a... This might be a boss section. I don't really want to do a boss right now. Let's run on back. Oops. Spirit Walk is also a nice travel spell. Well, semi-nice travel spell. But, yeah, and it's just to kind of cover my stats while we're running. I'm at 145,000 damage, 4.4 million toughness, 14,000 healing. The toughness really to be worked on. The one thing I'm really trying to work on is my resists, because that's what kills me more than anything is my lack of resists. Just go ahead and dot these up and look at my stats while they slowly die. Let's see, where did the resists go? Yeah, my resists are around 67, 70, 72, 76 for lightning. Wow. Poison is 71%, arcane is 67%. So I really want to get those up to at least 80-ish%. So I'm trying to kind of balance vitality with that because, again, most of my deaths are due to various spells killing me, not necessarily taking physical damage. Though, obviously, physical damage resist is also important at this difficulty level. And honestly, again, the zombie wall, the taunt is also nice for grouping enemies up because they'll often group up to attack the wall, and then I can just use my AEs to knock them out. I don't know if anybody else agrees with me, but I still think Frozen Piranhas is insanely good. The other very good Piranha spell is Piranado, which, first of all, the name is perfect. But as you can imagine, what it does is it creates a swirling vortex of piranhas and sucks enemies in. Now, it doesn't last that long, but it takes them out of commission for a bit, and it's phenomenal for grouping them together and making them easier to cast my spell on to cast the zombie pylon. Not enough zombie pylons. Let's get them. See, again, they're all grouped up. They're all slowed. So you just pile on and destroy them pretty easily. That's why I like the pylon more than the bear, because if you do it right, usually you can get them grouped up fairly well. So it's the increased range of the bears isn't necessary. And like I said, the bears only do like half the damage that the pylon does. So, and I'm already not doing a ton of damage, so I really need to get all the damage I can. Go ahead and get those haunts going. And I love just trapping enemies like this into small corridors. Wonderful. Feels good, man. Especially for all those teleporting jailers and shit that you run into. It's nice to actually give the enemies a taste of their own medicine. And I've said this many, many, many times, but I think I am... Let me phrase this correctly. I think Blizzard deserves huge credit for fixing Diablo. Now, somebody might argue, well, wait a minute. Why should they be given praise for unfucking something they fucked in the first place? That's a fair enough point. The reason I think so is, one, if a company screws up and we say, hey, you screwed up, and they fix it, I think it should be praised, right? I think it's good to say, hey, you know what? You listened, you did what we asked you to do, and you made it better, and we enjoy it. We're glad that you did that. I think that needs to happen, because what's the point? What if you don't do that? What if you're like, well, no, you screwed it up in the first place, so I'm never going to forgive you? Well, then what's the point for them changing it, right? And secondly, I feel like a lot of the mistakes made with Diablo 3 were things that not necessarily, like, they might have sounded good on paper, but didn't really work out well. The auction house, even not considering the real life auction house, the auction house is something that I think in theory sounded like a great idea. Let's block the enemy off, get some haunts going. I think it was a great idea in theory. I think that once we tried it out and we found that, hey, we can just get all of our items. If we want, the best items, we go buy them from the auction house. Then we found that, you know what, and realistically, this doesn't work all that well. So I don't blame them for that. Now, granted, they did change their game design decisions because of the real life money auction house, because they wanted you to go to the auction house to get items. So therefore, most of the time, you didn't really find anything very useful for yourself. Wow, okay. Every now and then, I've noticed that Spirit Walk, for whatever reason, is supposed to unbind you from any kind of, well, bindings that you find yourself into. I find that somehow doesn't work sometimes, or I have to click twice to get myself to move. It's very weird. Like, obviously it won't go through like walls, like the waller enemies who make the actual stone walls. You can't, just phase through those. But sometimes I can't move. Like, it's like I'm still getting collision with enemies, and you're not supposed to with Spirit Walk. You're supposed to be able to walk through anything except physical walls. Dot these guys up, put haunt on them, and just walk away. They're like, God damn it. Just hope they don't drop a legendary. Well, I guess that's my only concern, is that, he dropped a legendary. Isn't that a shame? Oh, they weren't close enough to move the haunt to. And I don't remember if I mentioned this before about haunt, but when haunt, if the enemy dies and it has haunt on it, when it dies, haunt will jump to a nearby enemy if there is one. So you generally want another enemy close by if you can. Now this enemy should have haunt on them. Some of them, now we'll watch kind of as the haunt spreads on its own here. Well, they're actually doing some pretty decent physical. Actually, we're not going to watch. We're just going to murder the hell out of all these enemies. Pylon is just such a funny move. I call it the spring break move. I don't know why. I just picture all these zombies at spring break, and they're all like, yeah, body pyramid, spring break. Yeah, I have no idea why. That was immediately what popped into my head. All right, we need to go this other way. Damn it. I'm still screwing the spells up. But yeah, I really like this build. It's really enjoyable. The two things that really make it happen are the pool of piranhas, which adds extra damage,
It is what the
and
spirits
the passive,
asked of me,
which
to follow
makes
their
my dots
guidance
and the damage boost last permanently. Those two things really build it together. Like I say, if I ditch the spell, it would probably be the wall of zombies that I would get rid of. Oops, I should have got that out quick. I think they're nice and lined up. Because yeah, obviously you want the pool up quick because that's going to get that extra dot damage. Hello. And the other thing too I love is like walking over to enemies you saw barely on screen and see that they already have your locust swarm on them and it's been working on them while you were fighting other enemies. I love that. I think I forgot to locust those guys. But yeah, I really enjoy this build. It's just a lot of fun. I like the control aspects. Yeah, it doesn't have like huge numbers, which I mean, again, at least I don't think so in comparison. Like I've not played any of the classes at this level, so I'm not sure what other classes are doing. But I've seen crits with zombie rush or zombie charger up to don't die. With zombie charger up to like 2 million, 2 point something million. I'm not sure. Whoa, hello. You done disappeared. Let's go ahead and block him off. So now he's mega slowed with both Haunt and the Frozen Piranha. Now keep in mind that passive I had that makes the damage buff last pretty much forever, which I'm not even sure what that means. Does not cause them to be frozen forever. That would be amazingly broken, but also amazingly fun to do. The fact that Haunt also slows them makes Haunt even more attractive to me at this difficulty level. Again, keeping in mind, leveling up, this wouldn't have been an issue. Well, I guess now it would be, or it could be, just because you can set the difficulty from the start, which I think was a great idea. Now, you can't set Torment until you've beaten the game once. Now, since the expansion's out, I don't know if you also have to have beaten the expansion DLC, or if you just have to have beaten Diablo. I'm not quite sure how that works. Hey, cool, honey, over here. You keep him busy. I'm gonna check this out. And I realize I'm not destroying a lot of these jars. Like I say, honestly, with this character, it's just kind of a pain in the ass to destroy everything. Because I either have to spend a lot of money on the locusts, or I have to use my cooldowns, like the piranhas to break the barrels. Try to put the wall behind him so he couldn't run away, but that's fine too. See, my zombie's just barely hitting him over there. And those stupid little bats are going to come out, and I'll wall them off. Get another pool of piranhas. I love this spell. I really, really do. The piranha spell is just... One, it's just amusing as hell. And two, I just really love the damage bonus and all the other little bonuses and tails based on what you ruined it out to be. Just die. I always hate when there's like one enemy who just absolutely refuses to die. Like, just go away. Go ahead and block him off. Misclick. Make sure to do that. See, again, I'm like clicking the move, but then I couldn't for a second. And then finally it let me move. I'm not sure what's up with that. I've also noticed a problem where sometimes, especially with the Tower of Zombies, my cursor will be at the right spot. But if I recently moved, it'll click on the wrong... It'll actually go to the wrong area. Just die slow. He's like, oh, come on, that's not even right. Alright, just making sure you didn't drop anything. Take a locust swarm while you're at it. See, as you can see, I'm just letting those guys follow me. And the dot does kill them. But it's just, you know, not optimal. Diablo's not really a game series built around damage over time. Though, again, like I said, with these harder difficulties, it does matter a little more since enemies tend to have a ton of hit points. Wow, these guys were damaged somehow earlier. They weren't at full health. Don't quite know how that happened. Hello. All you little extra guys. Throw a few haunts in there. Get my mana regen up. Again, it's pointless to haunt all the enemies. because if you haunt them all, then the haunt doesn't have enemies to jump to. But if you haunt, like, let's say 5 in a group of 15, because they're so bunched up, they will piss off. They will, the haunt will jump to other enemies, keeping your mana region going, right? Does that make sense? So that's why I need to get in the habit. I have a habit of, like, once I see a big group of enemies clumped together, I'm like, yes! I want to haunt all of them. But that's really not a good way to use the spell. Okay. Well, you've basically explored this area. No, you haven't. I'm still around. Alright. There's one little dude hanging out. Ghostly Sepra. Whee! I've also tried a pet build. I haven't had a lot of time to read the patch notes. But my understanding is that... you know what? I'm not going to waste my time. Is that there was a pet buff. Like, they took off some kind of restriction on pet, like crit, something like that. And pets are supposed to be a bit better. And I tried a pet build. And then keep in mind, this was just like a spitball pet build. I was trying to go crazy with the pets and the dog, the dog, the gargantuan, the fetishes, etc. And I was not pleased. I never really died, especially because I had the leech dogs on, but it took forever to kill anything. Oh, it was bad. So I might mess around with it, and maybe again, if I try that idea where I, do this, and then maybe every few videos I change my build out, I might try that. Now, the one problem with this idea that I have is that, okay, yeah, this is where there was a boss fight. All right, well, let's just go back to town and we'll find another waypoint. But another problem I had with that, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry. We were WESTMARCH Heights. That's where that's a little bit further. But yeah, the pet build was just way too slow to kill things. My God, it was bad. Whoa, hello. Hello there, purple. Block her off. I hate when that happens, when there's like a piece of scenery in the way. Usually the game's pretty good about getting them, like making them transparent when that happens, but sometimes that will happen, but that's alright. It's pretty rare. Let's see if this frost, yeah. Look how much that slows her down. That's insane to me. Then I can block her off of the wall to add insult to injury. Now again, you can see I have serious mana issues here where there's no minion type enemies to keep haunted. The mana runs out very quickly, and again, I don't know if that's typical with all casters. Maybe they all tend to run out of mana pretty fast, but oh, another thing I was going to say about the changing the builds around. I like the idea. I think that the idea itself could be, fun, but the problem is that some builds to be successful are going to be a little bit more, get back, is going to be more gear dependent, like, building your gear towards that specific build, again, especially on the higher difficulties. So some builds might not necessarily be bad, but because I don't have the right gear for it, it might not be good. That makes sense? So, yeah. Well, but, it'd be worth a shot. And that's one of my favorite things about this Diablo is trying new builds. Got a few haunts out. Gonna build a wall. Built the wall a little further back than I wanted, but it didn't really end up mattering too much. Now see, these guys, I just ran out because I don't know what that aura is. But yeah, changing builds around is one of my favorite things about the new Diablo. Is I like to be able to just try different things. In the old Diablos, you want to try a new build, you had to start all over. And quite frankly, making new characters is one area that action RPGs like Diablo, Torchlight, etc. really get pretty boring because it's just not fun to rebuild your character. Let me dot these guys up. They're being annoying. I don't know if they're replicating or what, but it seems to be like I killed them and they just come right back. But luckily this freeze thing slowed them down a lot. But yeah, they're very slow to start, which I think another really smart idea Blizzard had was that your Paragon levels carry over. Oh shit. Now, this is another thing I have problems with, is these guys. The treasure pygmies. I can't do enough sustainable damage while not myself dying to kill them. I actually did all sort of kind of okay there. The enemies weren't paying as much attention to me as they usually do. I should have gotten more haunts up sooner to get my mana regen going so that I could just chain cast, but there really wasn't enough enemies there to chain cast, I don't think. So again, let's see, I've only got one dot on him. I think it was doing 300,000. I'll actually dot them up again, and we'll take a look at how much damage it's doing every second. Let's get that out. Get some haunts out. So it's doing 460 something damage a second. That's not anything to laugh at. I don't think. Again, I don't really have a lot to compare it to. I don't really watch anybody else play Diablo. But given how much damage one of my biggest damaging attacks does, I think it's nothing to sneeze at. Right, get out of here. God, the slow on that frost is insane. Piss off, Exorcist. Wait, a demon exorcist? How does that work? I mean, it's not like we're in the evil realm for them to exorcise us. Like a human hunter, I guess. I don't know. A man hunter. But yeah, considering my high-end crits do around 2 million... Again, doing 400k a second for one initial mana cost. Not bad, I don't think. Not bad at all. It also, you know, depends if you're cool with the whole slow burn type build. Obviously, if you're not, then, you know, you might want to do something else. But I'll also sometimes use the... Oh, jeez. I cannot move and I don't know why. There I go. Wow. Yeah, whatever. I don't know if I was just surrounded, but yeah, I just couldn't even move. That's, again, kind of what I'm talking about. One problem this game suffers from is not being able to see what the fuck is going on sometimes. It's like, something's happening. I don't know what it is because my model is not even viewable. These guys are pretty annoying. You guys pile up on that wall so I can kill you with zombies. That works for me. That works for me. Oh, still some guys alive. Oop. And I missed both of them with a locust swarm. Good job. Oh, you're still... Oh, these guys. I don't know if that actually damages me or not. That's another good thing. Like, those guys, I think, just sit there and, like, chain cast shit or something. Nope. Cast it now, please. Thank you. I can dot them and run away and deal with the ads, and by the time I get back, the enemy's either dead or hurt. Like, see, he's already less than half life. So I can pop him a few times, get him even lower, kind of run away, grab a health globe, get these guys all piled up on the wall. Again, the wall is both good to block off enemies and to kind of build them up on top of each other. See, that's what I don't know if you noticed that, but when I cast the wall of zombies, the first cast went up here, even though my mouse cursor was down here. This seems to happen most when I'm moving around, and maybe it's maybe I'm moving it too quickly. I don't know.
A chance for glory.
Also, if you've not played Diablo since the patch 1, you definitely should. Did my barrel haunt? Did my haunt that barrel? But you need white items to salvage because you need the materials that drop from them to do some like the high-end crafting. So I actually had a problem at one point where I had enough to make really nice items except the white items. It kind of sucked, but on some of these later missions, especially in the expansion, they have certain things that you can click, like ruined armory or something that will give you, that tends to give you white items. So Fire Alley. Oh, that sounds fun. Not to be confused with Thirsty Alley. This is probably be a much more deadly. No, they wouldn't. People don't know our names. All right, you guys all get nice and bunched up. Yep, come on. All right, again, little crazy with the haunts there. Now, see, they're actually attacking the NPC for once. It seems so random if they're going to attack them or not. It seemed like early on playing and on easier difficulties, even the Enchantress, like they would attack her before me. But then all of a sudden it just seemed like they just completely ignored any NPC and always attacked me. Just let them die by dots. Oh, some more enemies. Ah, Inferno zombies. Wait. Oh, there's a Waller. Great. I also... Oops, my mouse also has a tendency to fly off. I've had this problem with multiple mice, so I think it's something to do with the surface that I use the mouse on. I've tried multiple mouse pads, and I always have the same problem. I don't quite know what the deal is. Or it could be because I have a cat, and she likes to shed all over everything. Not shit, shed. Did I haunt these guys? I think, yeah. One of them ended up not getting haunted. Again, if an enemy dies too far away from other enemies, then they won't get properly haunted. Go ahead and block those guys off. We can both wall. Let's get out of there. And my dots finished them off. Of course, the Templar probably like to think he finished them off, but we know that's not the case. Alright, is that everything? Nope. Sweet. Corpse had a yellow. Hopefully you guys like this series. The reason I'm doing it is because on my one video that was completely unrelated to Diablo, I was playing Diablo in the background. And a few people said, you know, oh, hey, you know, I'd like to see you play some Diablo. So I'm playing some Diablo. I want to see if people would like it. Hound Pack Leader. Ooh, scary. You guys stay on that side, or you're less scary. While I have these zombies pile up on you. Whee! The main reason I like the Templar, just real quick to show it, I like this ability, Inspire. Oh god. Lady, that was rude as hell. Let's get her dotted up ASAP. And blocked off. Oh, my favorite mirror. One reason I really hate mirror is because I think every time they mirror, I think that they lose all the dots on them. I think. Needless to say, for this build, that can be a serious, serious problem. I should have waited on the wall because she's going to split again. Yeah, there she goes. So let's go ahead and... I think any kind of effects go away when they mirror. If anybody knows for sure on that, I would not mind confirmation. But these maidens aren't too bad. They don't have that many hit points comparatively to, you know, other stuff. And again, this is Torment 1. I think I... No, I was going to say I think I played through this section originally on Torment 3, but that is not the case. Or not Torment 3, but Torment 2. I was playing on Torment 2 for a while, but there was one boss fight in particular where if you died, you lost like 5 to 10 minutes of time. And on Torment 2, if I made even the slightest misclick, then I pretty much auto died. So I got very sick of that very, very quickly. As many of you know, I have very little patience for doing the same thing over and over again. So, oh shit, there she goes. One nice thing about mirrors, well, one nice thing about mirrors is, one, I can re-haunt them and get my mana back up. Oh, that's Fire Alley would have been there. And two is that when they mirror, they keep their health, and obviously the mirrors are much lower on health. Also keep in mind too, I know some of this stuff is like, well, no shit, dude. If you've played Diablo before, I want this partially to be for folks who've not played Diablo or maybe not familiar with the patch, because I know at least. Oh, hello, Ethereal. Oh, that was actually him. All right, these things you want to dot for sure, because he's going to be summoning shit over and over because he's a real prick. All right, so, damn it, misclicked that wall. That was really bad, misclicking the wall. Because these Shadows of Death are a real pain in the ass because they're really fast. They get on me really fast. And again, the Tower of Zombies' biggest weakness, in my opinion, is that if an enemy is right on top of you, the wall will almost always just miss them. Oh, didn't know they died when he died. Good to know. There you go. Just a little haunt for you. And there's a swarm. I love watching the swarm just spread around too. That's always fun. Get a few haunts just for grins. Wall them off. Keep them tied over there. And give them. There's a 1.9 million. Again, not too bad. And one reason I'm big on prefacing and saying no, this build is not optimal, is because depending on how popular a series is, you're always going to get the people who are like, oh, you should do this, or that's not a good spell. That spell sucks. You need to do this and this and this and maximize, and this is the stat you should be going for, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yes, God. I realize that there is almost certainly a better way to build if I want to kill, faster. But it might not be a fun build for me to play. And part of the fun for me is finding builds that are fun to play, maybe gimmicky, or gimmicky / fun, but still do the job. Again, on lower difficulties, it doesn't really matter that much. Oh hey, Vicious Hound. By yourself? I was gonna say that would be kind of weird. Another Waller. Gonna Spirit Walk the hell out of there. Another great reason to have Spirit Walk. What I really hate is enemies that will pop up and trap you so you can't move at all. Like the worms in one of those acts. I'm pretty sure that's not intended. I don't think the game wants like something to pop on you so that you literally cannot move because you're stuck like in the model. But and that's really rare that happens. It's really rare. So these are pretty damn easy blues. Of course I'm going to say that now and die like an idiot. But yeah, especially since we're in a small area, the walls not really... Ironically, the walls weren't as deadly with these guys. And I could wall them off. So even if I got walled off, I could just return the favor and get away from them. Oh wow, another Paragon level. There's no bonus XP. Oh, well, I guess I do have Nephilim Glory. Or not Nephilim Glory, but whatever. Anyway, I really like this game's music, by the way. I think the music in the expansion is phenomenal. We're going to pump our resistance again. I'm probably going to go all the way to resist. Unless, obviously, I start hitting 80% and 85%. And I find the spells are being much weaker against me. I'll probably keep going with resist, at least on that one. I'm going to follow the barricades. Alright, never mind. I guess I will. Go ahead and get the wall up. And the piranhas. See, again, look how they bunch up really nice. So now they're all frozen, too. And these guys are going to die anyway. Oh, reusable parts. Grab those. For sure. Hello. He's like, how are you? Oh, no, come on. Be cool, man. Let's go ahead and kill these guys and we'll run inside there. Unless we run out of room in the inventory. Let me know what you guys think of this idea, too. Oh, I got these things. So there must be one of these summoning assholes over here. Yes? No? Maybe not? Maybe it's just one by himself. We'll go ahead and put the frozen pool right there, because I know some enemies are going to come through, and there they are. This guy I'm just letting die slowly. See, I just like the idea of having a slow build. Since I really don't like pet builds so far in this game / expansion / difficulty. True Son of the Wolf. Oh no. We're not going to do that event. That event sucks my ass. Like, as a witch doctor, that thing is fucking hard as shit. And kind of cheesy, too, because there's like a ton of enemies that spawn. You have an insanely small area to run away from them from. They're really, really fast. And you can't kill the main guy until you kill the wizards, which, also respawn. It's so bad. Really? Plague Vermin? That's what we're doing? But yeah, I know you can't hear the music over me talking, but the music I am quite pleased with. I'm a fan of violin music anyway, so I'm already a little biased. But I think it's very good. There you go. Now, if I haunt all these guys, my mana regen... This just... How ridiculous can we get my mana regen? Let's see. Oh, yeah, look at that. And that's with a bunch of them dead, too, so... Alright, we're just gonna let you run around. Giving me free mana. Look how that one ran by me. What are these mole people? Mole rat people. Rat people. Wait, where'd my... Here it went. Getting some major haunts going around. There's something down there. I don't know what that's doing. It looks like a trap of some kind. I'm gonna, for now, stay the hell away from it. Oh, we got 2 items. We might run out of room soon. I'm also intentionally not looking at my inventory. I kind of want to be surprised when I run out. Wow, I'd be surprised we still have room. What's that beast? Oh, beast bones. Look at all that mana just to break 3 items. Crazy. Okay, what is this? Whack. Am I the only one who finds it incredibly funny that... I also find it funny that I'm dotting a trap. I don't know why that's amusing. But that the staff, when the staff drops, it always sounds like a duck quacking. Whack. Whack. It's off. Die slowly. You guys can all get haunted. Keep on coming. See, again, the locusts are still spreading. Go ahead and get some more haunts because it's probably wore off a little bit. We'll go ahead and shadow step. Okay. So maybe you can't run through enemies when you're shadowed. So if you're being surrounded by enemies, you can't get through. Again, see the wall, which I don't know if you saw that or not. But the wall was super useful there because it got all those enemies right on top of each other and made it really easy. All right, so we're out of room.
The great pestilence in Westmarch killed both humans and beasts alike. The panicked survivors then threw the corpses of both into the plague tunnels. Now the Reaper's presence has revived many of those interred there, with the bones of beasts rising again as skeletal crawlers, driven to kill the living.
Okay, let's take a look at what we've got. So, we got 2 marquees. I don't know if I get really lucky, but it seems I get a lot of marquees gems. Unfortunately, I don't get a lot of slotted items, though, which kind of makes it odd. So yeah, I've got 12 marquees topaz, which is the top gem that you can get. And if you don't know, there's socketed items. You can put an item or a gem in a socket, and you have different... I'm not going to go too much into depth of this. But gems have like 10 or 12 different quality levels, and the higher quality, obviously, the better stats you get. And the color of the gem determines what kind of stats you get. So, for example, a Marquise Topaz will give you, in a weapon, ranged melee attackers take 25 damage per hit. The Emerald gives you crit hit damage, etc., etc. So I have 12 Marquise Topaz, 9 Emeralds, 5 Amethysts, 9 Diamonds, and 6 Rubies, and 10 Purple Horseshoes. Alright, let's look at our haul, shall we? I think we shall. Okay. So, we've got this. This is a big damage downgrade. Some white items we can just ignore. I'm just not really gonna look at anything that doesn't give us a straight up bonus. So this does have a socket, but it's missing tons of stats. So yeah, no chance. And a big armor drop too. Now this is a toughness increase. Now I do look at toughness increases because if the damage hit is small, as it actually appears to be here, I'll consider it, because it might not seem that way now, since I really only died that one time. But man, it's I definitely have some survivability issues sometimes, and I like playing at higher torment levels. So obviously I need my toughness to be up. Anyway, we have more intelligence on these boots. We regen more health per second, 713 versus 661. No, actually, wait, we lose. Sorry, I had them backwards. So I lose intelligence. I gain vitality, but I lose a little bit of life per second, not enough to matter. I lose 12% move speed. I really like that move speed bonus. It's not much, but again, 12% is actually not bad, but I really like it. It helps. I notice a difference, let's put it that way. Increased Spirit Barrage damage. I don't like Spirit Barrage. I think a lot of Witch Doctors do. I'm not a fan of it. I've tried multiple times and I just couldn't get it into it. Of course, that being said, I have Spirit Barrage on my current boots. Let's see. Poison resist I lose, and I lose gold from monsters. Gold from monsters is almost pointless, at least at this point. A yellow or a gray item, obviously not going to be good. That's all bad. Now here looks like this might be an upgrade. Some gloves. We would gain about 120 intelligence. We'd gain about 90 vitality. We'd lose life on per hit. Not a huge deal. We would lose fire resistance, which is kind of a big deal. Extra gold is next to worthless, and monster kills grant 133 XP, also not very useful. So I would gain some hit points, but I would lose resistances. Since we're getting our resistances up and we're only losing 84 and it's just fire, I think the overall increase in health is worth it. Though we lose 340 on hit. Honestly, either way, it's not going to make a big difference. But there is a pretty big increase in intelligence vitality. Tell you what, we'll go ahead and go with this. I'm going to have to watch my fire resist, so. Alright, so here's some bracers. Let's see. Oh, it's got dexterity on it. For some reason, I like to get dexterity items. So I'm not even going to look at that. You got a ring. I have, let's see, a legendary equipped right now. I would actually gain a lot of intelligence, like 130 intelligence. I would gain 103 vitality. I'd lose 56 resist all elements, which would suck. I would gain attack speed 5%, plus 362 armor, Ranged and melee attackers take 1537 damage per hit. Whatever. I'd lose extra gold, which is worthless, and increase bonus experience by 27%. That's kind of nice for getting the Paragon levels, I guess. I really like the intelligence and vitality. I do not like the resistance to all elements. However, I like the ranged and melee attackers take damage for a pet build that I had in mind. Let's see what this other ring is. Hold alt. There we go. So I would lose intelligence, lose resist all. This is not looking good. Lose regen. Lose 9% damage reduction from elites. 9%. Yeah. So I'm already gonna stop looking at that ring. Not a bad ring though. I'm gonna keep it. And just to keep stuff sorted, I tend to drop items that I'm going to keep over to the right. Whack! Whack! Can't tell me that doesn't sound like a duck. Anyway, amulets. Let's take a look at this. 89 resist all elements, which I really like, but it has no other stats. I was thinking about maybe keeping that for a companion, but I don't think it's even good enough for them. Alright, now this looks like it might be an upgrade all around. Physical skill damage skills deal 12% more damage. I would lose that. Now, zombie charger is physical. So that actually is a big damage hit. And I don't think they're factoring that into the calculations. But we gain about 60 intelligence. We gain about 90 vitality. We gain 90 resist all elements, which is also really nice. We'd also gain 1165 life per hit, which is also nice. Increase gold and health pickup by 1 yard. That would actually stay the same. Ignore durability loss. Don't really care that much about that. I really like the intel, the vitality, and the resist. I can't really say no to that. I cannot say no to that. And a little bit of an armor upgrade. I hate to lose the physical skills, deal 12% more damage. Since zombies is physical and one of my main damage boosters, but the resist I just can't say no to. That's wizard stuff, crusader only. All right, let's check this helm. Nope, all lost. I'm intentionally not identifying the belt yet. I'm dragging it out because I'm an asshole. All right, a dagger, slightly more damage. Let's see. Plus 8% damage. Oh, I see. 598 intelligence. I'd lose intelligence, lose vitality, lose life per hit, and level requirement reduction. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's good twink loot or whatever, but no. However, I might keep that for alts. I won't bother looking at alt gear on the video. Not that useful. Healing. No, I don't really care. It's a bow anyway. Which witch doctors can use bows, oddly enough. Let's see. This is a damage reduction. About the same intelligence. A little bit. No, actually, that's about 80 more vitality. Monster kills get 100%, 118 more XP. 2% chance to blind on hit. That's all right. Too much of a damage reduction, though. That's not bad, though. It's not bad at all. In fact, again, I'm going to add that to my possibilities for my other guys. A shield, I won't use that, but it does have strength. And that actually might be an upgrade for him. I know I just said I wouldn't look at gear for him, but I lied. Oh, yeah, this is definitely going to be better. It's got more vitality overall. So this year, okay, this is going to raise his toughness from 1.6 million to 2.4. So yeah, that's a nice shield too. I like this shield though. It looks pretty badass. All right, let's stop dicking around. Let's check out this belt. Let's identify the belt. All right, let me check something real quick. Sorry, I'm not being an asshole in this case. See, this is account bound. So again, somebody in comments can identify, or not identify, but can clarify this. Can you not trade legendaries with people unless they're in the game when it drops? If so, that really sucks. Like I find legendaries and I'm like, oh, this friend of mine could use that, but I can't give it to him. That kind of sucks. Anyway, let's just go ahead and identify it. I don't quite get the point of identifying either. Maybe it's, I don't know. Anyway, Hellcat Waist Guard. We gain more armor. We get a little bit of more armor. We gain 110-ish intelligence. We gain right at 100 vitality. Attack speed increased by 5%. Increased damage against elites by 3. We'd lose regen 356 life per second. And we'd also lose fireball damage, which doesn't matter because I don't like that spell and I never use it. We'd also lose 92 fire resistance, which we already lost some of that. I think we kind of gained it back with those armed guards or whatever it was. We get 5483 life after each kill. Ranged and melee attackers take 2,800 damage. Yes, this is going to be an obvious no duh. The only real loss here is we don't regen 356 life per second, which I relatively insignificant. That might, that's 356 health per second. You're insane. I have 407,000 hit points right now, and it only regens 356 life per second. I mean, free life is free life, but it's very low on the totem pole of important things. And of course, increased damage versus elites is always good. So yeah, let's go ahead and put that on. Got a nice legendary on our first video. Is that like inner? At first I thought that was like hands put together, like the fingers holding each other, but I think it's like a mouth. Well, it is Hellcat Waist Guard, so yeah, I guess it's like a Hellcat mouth. But we didn't get any Death Breath. Man, I have terrible luck on Death Breath. When I first started playing the expansion, I got quite a few. But since then, like, I just hardly ever get Death Breath. But anyway, that's the first video of no more room in my bag, or I don't know. I have to figure out a name for this series. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this idea. Like, you know, basically tell me the different aspects that, you know, seem interesting. Like just me playing it until I fill my bag, trying out different builds, or just, you know, farting around in Diablo 3, killing shit and seeing what we get. Again, some of you seem to like the idea of me doing kind of a series on Diablo, and I don't want to really let's play it because I've already beat most of this expansion, and I don't want to LP an entire series, honestly, unless it was a co-op deal, and even then, Diablo is kind of my relaxing game, right? So I don't want to feel like, oh, I can't play because I'm not LPing it. But anyway, yeah, let me know what you think of this series, or the idea of the series. Let me know what you thought of this video in particular. Any other ideas that you'd like to see regarding Diablo, etc., etc. Thank you guys for watching. Like my videos if you do like them. That does help me out a whole lot. Make sure to follow me on the Twitters, and I will see you next time.